We're back. That's right. We're doing another kata, and I have with me once again a favorite from last season, I think. Dennis is back. You've got something amazing for us once again. A new tutorial, something everyone can play around with, a new kata.
Yes.
Well, first of all, for the people who might not know you, Dennis, who are you and what do you do here at Skyline?
I'm Dennis. And I'm
Dennis.
Yes, and I'm a member of the analytics team, the machine learning and AI team. And I've been so since 10 years. I'm actually working in Skyline for 10 years today.
Today?
So today
Oh,
is my work anniversary.
congratulations.
So,
Okay, marketing, make some confetti here, fireworks. I don't know how much time you have. Keep going, and enough. All right, great. So you're 10 years. That's
10
amazing.
years,
Nice
amazing.
anniversary, and
Yeah,
you're
very
celebrating that with a nice live video with us.
Voila, with you guys, huh?
Excellent.
Of course.
So you've got something fun for us.
Yes. I'd like to talk about alarm grouping today, or
Okay.
the incident tracking, as we also call it.
Incident tracking, alarm grouping.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Two things maybe I want to say to begin.
Okay.
First of all, congratulations for watching this kata, all right? Because the topic is really like useful, interesting for any data miner user. Like imagine you're a data miner user, then you've been in the following situation, right? There was an alarm or there was an issue, and it created not one alarm, but multiple alarms.
Yes.
And then what you had to do was... Very common, right? So what you had to do was, you had to somehow group all the related alarms together, and then you had to assign a label to it. For example, this is a rain fade, or this is interference.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
All these have to do with a single topic or item or thing. And then
Yes, absolutely. So this is something, everybody has to do this, right? Now, alarm grouping is about semi-automating this. So what's happening is that alarm grouping is going to try to find the related alarms and already group them for you. And then the only thing you have to do is still add that label. So the difficult work is still for you. Yes. But we're already automating something, semi-automating something. Yeah, that's valuable for all users, basically.
So I remember in some of previous katas with you or your colleagues, we've seen quite some very handy features hidden behind the light bulb icon. I remember that.
Yes.
And you could like see what are related alarms that the system itself has learned.
Absolutely.
And knows.
Yeah. Man,
you
know everything.
No,
right?
I sometimes I manage to pick up a few things. One or two things. No. Yeah. I'm just considering then, so this topic is like kind of the next step. So you can manually look and get suggestions or suggested alarms even, or no, that's something else, sorry. Yeah. You can get suggestions of related things.
This is a bit different. You just mentioned you can see all kinds of things hidden behind light bulbs, right?
Yes.
Well, this is even more hidden.
Okay.
Today we're going deep.
We're going deep today. These are the secret dark. This is dark caverns of data miner. Okay.
Plus 18, by the way.
Plus 18. Not that kind of dark caverns, man. No.
No. The thing is, so alarm grouping, when you look at it under the hood, it's basically a collection of rules, and those rules tell the algorithm how alarms should be grouped.
Okay.
Now, what most people don't know is that there is a secret configuration file where all of those rules are mentioned. And depending on your system, you can switch on or off certain rules. You can tweak them. And you can even add your own rules to the engine to kind of really configure alarm grouping to really work for you. And that's the topic of the kata.
Okay, right. So where beforehand it's more of a... the system learns as it goes. It's kind of using a different engine in the background to figure things out, more in the direction of learning and AI.
Yeah, that's relational learning.
Yes, and this is really more like the classical way of working where you have fixed code, fixed rules that the benefit there is you're always 100% sure if you get it right once, it's always right.
Yeah. And if it's wrong, it's the user's fault.
And if it's wrong, it's always wrong. So you'll see, then it's the user's fault.
No.
Okay, but anyway, so I'm gonna guess we're gonna have a look at that super secret file.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So let me dive in.
Any prerequisites?
Very, very good point. So the first thing, if you want to follow along, you should install this Kata incident tracking package. So it's on the catalog, and when you deploy it, Let me quickly show you. I already deployed it. It's going to add some elements.
Right.
In this case, amplifiers and nodes.
Yes.
And it's also going to add some automation scripts that we will need.
Okay, so everything you need for this exercise.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe a quick shout out here to Miguel Obregon, who helped me to create these elements that look really realistically like an amplifier or a node.
We've seen Miguel Obregon. He's had a Kata as well, yeah.
Ah,
I think
voilà.
we've got maybe
So-
one coming up as well.
That's true. Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Yeah, no,
one. Yeah.
great guy, and thank you for helping us.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you,
Okay.
Miguel. It's a picture of Miguel here.
We're giving poor marketing so much work in this one. Anyway, let's keep going. So we've
yes,
got
yes.
this thing installed. We've got a DMAP installed. It's going to be, or from the catalog.
Yes, absolutely.
Everything we need.
So now I'm going to show you the hidden configuration file, right? So I'm opening up my Explorer.
So we're
And-
going to need to be RDP'd to that server, or can we get to it through...
Good point. Good point. So if you're on a DAS,
Yeah.
you can't really access that file. Which is why I created the automation scripts that I just mentioned. So
Okay.
here, that's there in the package. And if
Right.
you're on a DAS system, you can just run those and they will make the changes to the XML.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But to follow along, even if you're on a DAS, it could be interesting maybe to just log into your own system
Right.
and open up the file I'm going to show you to already have an idea what it looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have a local agent, you can follow along in the
Yeah.
folder structure there.
Absolutely.
Or just follow along with us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely. So the file is, you go to the Skyline data miner folder. Then you go to the analytics folder. And then you have this inconspicuous file called configuration.
Okay.
Voila. And this is the magic file.
The secret file.
This is the secret
Okay.
file, yeah. So and what you see here the automatic incident tracking. That's what we're going to talk about. And then you have a lot of items. And all of these items are rules. So these are rules that the engine is using to group alarms together.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, some of these rules really make sense. And other rules, you're going to be like, I don't like this rule for my system. And I'm going to show you how you can switch it off or tweak it.
So these are defaults. This is standard installed. When you install
Yes.
the data miner or you update the data miner, you get this.
You get this. That's absolutely it. Yeah.
I mentioned update. If I change this file and I update,
Yes.
do I lose my changes?
No. The changes will remain.
Perfect.
There is one thing maybe that's worth mentioning now that you're bringing this up. Assume you're in a cluster, and most users have a cluster.
Yeah, multiple agents, yeah.
Voila. There's actually only one agent that's doing all the incident tracking work.
Okay.
So there's not one agent that does it all. It's not multiple agents.
So there's a master somewhere that's running and...
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. There's a master or a master, and you need to make sure that the XML file on that agent is the one you change.
Okay.
So that's the...
Well, follow-up question then, of course.
Oh,
How do I know?
man.
How
this guy,
do I
he's just
know?
taking the question out of my mouth. So
I'm ruining his script.
You're
That's what
ruining
I'm doing.
it's over here. So you just go to the System Center System Settings.
Okay.
Then you have this page called Analytics Config.
Ah, okay. Yeah, and in there
Yeah.
probably...
And here you find the basic incident tracking configurations. And here, this is the leader data miner ID.
Other leader, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the one you're going to have to change if you want to change your leader,
Yeah.
your master. But I wasn't going to go over these because these are
Well,
the basic settings.
Yeah.
But
It's
unless-
good, but no, it's good to know that. So to know where the leader file is, that's the agent you need, and
Yeah.
we can have a look at the file again. Then I guess. To,
Absolutely.
take it
Absolutely.
from there.
Great idea. Great idea. Let me.
I don't want to derail you that much. So,
It's all messed up.
oh no, we gotta do the whole thing over again, guys.
Okay. So so let's go over these rules, right?
Yes.
So the first one is the service property rule, right?
Yes.
What this rule is saying is that assume you have a bunch of alarms that come in within a given 10-minute window.
Yes.
Okay. If they belong to the same service, the same data miner service,
Right.
group them.
Oh,
That's it.
okay.
That's it.
That's
right?
the rule that groups all the alarms from a service by
Absolutely.
default. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't like it, just do this.
Yeah.
Voila, and then we switch it off, right? But I guess this rule, it probably makes sense on every system. It makes sense to, I guess, group alarms on the
By
same
service. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's the first rule. The second rule is related to relation learning, and you already talked about that a little bit.
Yes.
So remember, it was in the previous kata that I gave?
Yes.
So relation learning is an algorithm, and it runs in the cloud. And it tries to calculate the relation between any two parameters in your system. So it can be a CPU load and carrier to noise ratio or whatever. Yeah. And it calculates for every two parameters a number, which is 0 if the parameters are not related at all. And it's 1 if the parameters are super well related.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's between 0 and 1 if it's like in the middle.
Yeah, it's a weight that gets assigned.
Yeah, indeed. And what this rule is saying is, if you have a bunch of alarms that come in within a 10-minute window on related parameters, then we're going to group them. And what do we mean with related parameters? Well, we mean that the relation strength between the parameters is more than 0.7.
Yeah, which is configurable in our super secret file.
Voila. It's configurable in that super. So by default, it's 0.7. If you want to be more strict, you just put 0.9 or something like that.
Right.
And you change it the way you want, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Second rule.
Yeah.
With me so far? All right.
For sure.
All right. Third rule. The third rule is a bit of a special one, as in that you can only use it if you have IDP. So IDP is a data miner solution, and it allows you to add location information to your devices. So what this rule basically says, it's the location property rule. This rule is basically saying, look, if I have a room and it contains a bunch of devices, right? If 75% or more of those devices are in alarm, group them. And the idea here is that, okay, if you're in a room and you only have like 5 out of 100 devices in alarm, then probably you have issues with these 5 devices.
Yeah.
But if 90 of those devices are in alarm,
maybe the room's on fire.
Yes.
Immediately go to the worst case scenario. Maybe the room's on fire.
Maybe the room's on fire. But so you definitely want to know that, right?
Yes.
And so you can use that rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So we've got service level, relation level. We've got location.
Yes.
So starting quite logical.
Yeah.
Categories or groupings. Yes.
All right. Awesome. Now this one may frown some eyebrows. This is the parameter property grouping.
All right.
Okay. What this is saying is we're going to group alarms that occur within 10 minutes on the same parameter protocol pair.
Okay.
Okay. So let me give an example. Let me go to my cube. So let me look at this device, my data miner agent, just a Microsoft platform element.
Monitoring our own server, probably, something like that.
Yeah. So let me create 2 such elements. Let me duplicate it quickly. Voila. So I have a copy of that element. And so now I have 2 elements with the same protocol. Okay. Now let's look at the parameter of this protocol. For example, commit charge available.
Yeah.
Okay. So both of these devices have that parameter. Let me now trigger an alarm on that. So I'm going to change the alarm template. And I'm going to change it in such a way that you're going to get an alarm on this parameter. Just add a bunch of zeros here. Voila. Like that.
All right.
Now, what do you see? You see that we have 2 alarms, but the algorithm automatically groups them.
That's the rule we just saw, because it's the same protocol, the same parameter, different elements.
Yeah.
But because you're just looking at the parameter and the protocol or the connector, and if those are matching, the rule will automatically group them together.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Sometimes. Because not every element is for the same device as you've now duplicated it. In most cases, it will be...
It's tricky, right? Like, assume you have 100 servers. And you have 2 of those servers that have this commit charge available problem.
Yes.
Do they have the same root cause? I don't know. You can group those 2 alarms together, but is it really related to the same problem? I don't know. But if you have 100 servers and 95 out of the 100 have that commit charge problem, then maybe there is something more general going
something
on.
related, or
Yeah.
something all of them have in common that's causing the problem.
Yes, yes. And so it depends on your situation, right? And so that's why it's interesting for you to, for example, look on your own system and you can be like, hey, maybe parameter property for my system, rather not.
Yeah, I don't
But
need,
it's your choice.
Yeah, because every element is a completely separate entity, for example, even if it's the same connector, which happens a lot.
Yes.
Then you can set that to false. Okay, so probably that's one that rather often toggles based on the use case of your system then, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So this is something that you as a user, you decide.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Let's continue on. We have 3 more that I want to mention.
Sure.
So the fourth, very easy one, element property. You can maybe already guess what it is. If within, you want to guess?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess if it's an alarm in the same element, then we group them together.
Boom.
Bam.
Boom.
Makes sense.
Voilà, voilà, yeah, so that's it. Polling property. This is purely related to timeout alarms. So you have timeout alarms, and if they are polling from the same IP,
You'll group them maybe.
you'll group them together.
Yeah.
Because the idea is that if there are a lot of timeout alarms, all polling from the same IP, then maybe the issue is there,
Yes.
not on the devices.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you have that.
Okay.
And then last but not least, I want to mention this one, which is grouping on view property.
Okay.
Now this has to do with your surveyor tree in Cube, the view structure.
Yes.
And the idea is that if in a given view, more than 25% of devices are in alarm, then you're going to group those alarms. Okay?
Okay.
So another one, yeah,
Depending on your use case.
depending on
but
your use case, right?
a bit similar to services, as in if you put things in a service, if you categorize them like that, you want the service to group all the alarms together.
Yeah.
With a view, you could have comments in setups where, instead of a service, I've just made a view, added my elements under it, and
Yeah, absolutely. But,
and then
but maybe not.
25%. But maybe not.
But maybe not. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like, how can we know, right? Maybe you have a view structure that is completely different. So that's a bit the thing.
Right.
I can show you what it looks like in action.
Sure.
So let's create some alarms.
Yeah.
So we create an alarm on this one.
So those are the amplifiers, and
Yeah.
if you go above 25%, we should see.
Voila, indeed, boom. Oh, I
All
was
right.
already there. I was too fast. So you notice that the third alarm, it started grouping them because there are 10 amplifiers.
Oh yeah, 25. Yeah. So as
The
soon
third
as you
one.
go higher than 2,
Yeah.
you'll get it. Yeah.
That's the thing.
So and does it ungroup as well? Does it work in the other direction? So if you now remove one of the alarms, will it ungroup or would it stay
Boom.
grouped?
Boom, and the group is gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And now I add it again, and the group will be back.
All right. No, I guess if you go in that file and you change that to.
Man, you are always a step ahead, eh?
I
Stop taking away my punchlines.
I'm ruining his script so much today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had a long night of sleep today, and I'm going. I'm going.
I'm going. Yeah.
Usually I've got 5 hours, so I'm like yes. But now I can see everything.
Yeah, clearly,
No,
clearly,
great.
clearly.
Let's try that out. I
Let's
guess.
try that out, right? So I'm gonna choose to switch this one off as well. By the way, so the grouping on view, I'm gonna switch it off as well because
okay.
for my use case, I'd rather not do it.
All right.
Okay. So now what you do, if you have access to the file,
Yes.
you save the file, you restart analytics. You can do that. Boom. Just using the task manager, there will be an analytics process, SL analytics process that you can basically restart.
You can restart it. You don't need to reboot the entire agent or server, or
Yes.
okay.
You don't need to restart the entire thing. You can, but it's sufficient to just do like restart,
All right.
right?
And just to be clear, you cannot do that for every process in Data Miner.
Nee.
Just a side note, there are very specific ones, and I guess
Yes.
SL Analytics is one of those that you can just restart it through the task manager.
It's designed that way. Yeah, that you
Yeah.
can do that. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect.
If you're on a DAS and you don't have access to the file,
Yes.
you should go to the automation scripts. Where are you?
At
Here.
the top here.
And then we have this first script, disable view and parameter grouping, right?
Yeah.
This is basically going to change the configuration XML file on the system for you.
Yeah.
It's going to restart analytics. So it's going to do all the work for you.
Okay.
So I'm running it now, and what you should see happening is that these groups should disappear, right? And they disappeared. Yeah.
Yes.
Because we switched off view grouping and we switched off parameter grouping.
Okay.
So you see that the groups no longer exist.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
The ones we had. Okay.
All right. Okay. Voila. Let me clean up a little bit, right? So I'm going to clean up. And I forgot to mention that I have this neat little trick to create alarms.
Yeah.
It's pressing this toggle alarm button.
Ah, okay. Just make it easy.
Make it easy, yeah. And in case you didn't see it yet, so I'm going to clean up everything. And then I'm going to show you a second example. Let me quickly delete this element. And yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. I'll keep the alarm template like this.
Okay.
Okay. Second use case.
Second use case. Okay.
So far, I've shown you the rules that you can switch on or off and tweak.
Yes.
But what if you want to add your own rule to the system?
Yeah, something completely unrelated to what we default provide.
Yes.
But that for your system makes perfect sense.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
So the use case I have in mind is the following. And I had several users asking me about this.
Okay.
And that's why the setup is also an EPM setup, because the question came from EPM users. But of course, it can be applied much more generally.
Okay.
The use case is this, right? In EPM, you have these nodes. And nodes, they send out signals to some underlying amplifiers. Mm-hmm. And those amplifiers then amplify the signal and send it to the people's homes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what they were asking was, is there a way for me to group alarms on amplifiers that belong to the same node? So in this setup, for example, I have my node. And let's assume it has 4 underlying amplifiers. Amplifier 1, node 1. Amplifier 2, node 1. Amplifier 3, node 1. And amplifier 4, node 1.
Right.
What I would like to do is automatically group the alarms on amplifiers that are under the same node.
Yeah. Okay. So the situation or the scenario, even not taking into account EPM, is an element is the owner of other elements. Pretty much. And that could be any scenario. It's just you have an element that has either created other elements or is managing other elements or maintaining them. Then you would want to make a custom rule that says that links that. And we're trying to do that with EPM now as an example where that's always the case. You always have an element in control of other ones.
Indeed.
But that could be applied in anything. Cool. Okay.
Voila. Okay.
Show us how to do it, man.
Part of my script gone.
Yeah. Okay. Show us how to do it.
Okay. So how do we do it, right? How do we do it? Well, I already did part of the work for you. In order to do this kind of thing, you need properties. And I don't know if you've heard about, you have heard about properties, but properties in data miner, you have service properties, view properties, element properties, alarm properties. The thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to use alarm properties. And let me show you, right?
Okay.
So I have this amplifier 1, node 1.
Yes.
And I assume it is under this node 1. Now let me create an alarm. Voila, here it is. And let me open up the properties. Okay, I see my alarm. I don't know if I need to, if you can see it, but
yeah,
here it is. Notice this thing at the bottom.
Parent node.
There is somehow a property linked to this alarm called parent node. And it mentions that the parent node of this amplifier is Telest node 1. Okay. Now, you may wonder how I did that. And maybe I shouldn't show you, but I'm going to show you how I did it because this is super hacky.
Okay.
What I did was, in the protocol, I told the protocol, look, if you create an alarm on this parameter, add parent node property and give it the value Telest node 1.
Okay. So you did that directly in the connector.
I did that directly in the connector. Same thing with this one. So this one belongs to amplifier 2. If I create, it contains the same property, but this time it has the value Telest node 2.
Yeah.
The way I did it, again, super hacky in the protocol. Now, I did it in this easy way now. So here it is. It says create a property with parent node name and property this. But we have already users in the field that are doing this on EPM setups. And there you don't fill in this property using these protocols.
Yeah.
There is done in a nice way. You can link back from an amplifier to a node through these tables. If you want to do it on your system, just reach out to your Tom, and he can help you out with that.
Okay. Could you, for example, use custom properties instead? Because if you right-click on your alarm, I think, and then go to properties, and on the you've got a custom there, you can manually add a property in there.
Absolutely.
I guess if you don't have 300 elements and you just manually fill that in,
you're right. You could do that.
Probably works as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so if you've got a setup where you've got connectors you cannot really adjust because they are, for example, signed by Skyline. Then maybe through the custom properties, there's a way to do it like that.
Yeah. There's definitely a cleaner way to do this.
Cool. But okay, makes sense. So we've got a property assigned to an alarm.
Yeah.
That comes from a specific element.
Yeah, indeed. So you have the alarm, it belongs to an amplifier, and the alarm and that amplifier belongs to a node.
Yeah.
And the alarm contains info like what is the parent node.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me clean up my things again.
Okay.
Okay. So how now am I going to tell my system, use this property for grouping? Group all the alarms that have the same value for that parent node property. In order to do that, you should do the following thing. You go to the docs. Voila.
Okay, our documentation.
The user guide. You type in incident tracking, super easy. Voila. And here you have a long explanation about all the incident tracking stuff. And here, when you scroll down, you will see that you can group using an element property, an alarm property, a view property, and a service property.
Oh, okay.
What I want to do is alarm property.
Yes.
Right? So what you do, you copy this little piece of code. You open up your hidden dark web
secret
configuration file. Yeah. And you add here in this bottom thing, the thing that we didn't discuss yet.
The generic
properties. You add that item there under the value tag. So I'm going to create a nice value. Oops. A value tag.
Yeah.
Gonna paste that in here. Oops, doesn't look so good. Voila. And now the only thing you have to do is mention the name of the property, right? So it was parent node.
Yeah.
Voila. That's it. Boom, you're ready.
That's it.
Yeah. You save the file,
You
you restart analytics, and you're in business. So let me show you how it works.
Okay.
So let me...
Did you restart? I didn't notice.
I didn't because I'm going to do it using this script.
Ah, okay.
Yes, I'm going to do it using this script. So this second script is going to make the changes I mentioned and then restart analytics.
Right.
So let me run it. And now we're going to see if it works, right?
Okay.
So while this is running, let me create some alarms. I'm going to create an alarm on this amplifier, which lies under node 1. First alarm. It should group this with an alarm on this amplifier because it's also under node 1.
Yes.
Click. Boom.
Right.
Grouped on parent node.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So using properties on alarms, services, or views, you can group things together.
Yes.
Awesome.
Second example.
Cool.
The third example. And this one is, can you do like a cool thing like for you?
For you.
For you.
He told me to do it. I just monkey does it. It's fine. All right. Okay. No, okay. It's for you. I don't know what it's gonna be, but apparently I'm
It's
not
an exercise.
I'm not involved. Apparently, it's just for you.
Or you can also do
I mean, I'll leave you guys to it.
No.
It's fine. Okay.
No. So this is the Kata exercise, right?
Right.
And here you can gain DevOps points if you do the exercise.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the exercise I would like you to try out is the following thing. So we have our node. We have our amplifiers under the node. Say, hypothetically, we have 100 amplifiers.
Okay.
Say that 3 of those amplifiers have alarms.
Okay.
Can you really say then that it's a node problem?
If only 3 of 100, yeah, not really.
Yes.
Or you don't know, yeah, but probably not.
Yeah, you don't know, but probably not. So what I would like you to try is, try to group alarms on amplifiers under the same node, but only if at least 75% of the amplifiers under that node are in alarm.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now,
so I should be quiet now, otherwise I'm ruining the exercise. Or are we going to do it all together?
we're not going to do it all together.
Okay.
I'm gonna get you on your way.
Right.
How are we going to do it? Right? And let me clean up again. Up. This time, we're not going to use alarm properties, but we're going to use element properties. So you go to properties. You have here on the custom field, and this is what you just mentioned for alarms.
Properties.
You can do add property, and then let's give it the name element parent node or something. Okay. Now, very important, you need to select this. Because this is saying that you should update the alarms on value changed, and we need updated alarms for alarm grouping. So you need to enable that.
Okay.
Voila, now you have element parent node, and we're going to fill in here, this element, it belongs to node 1. Okay, oops. Let me bring it up, yeah. Similarly here, this element belongs to node 2.
Yeah, I think that was kind of what I was hinting at before. Instead of messing around in the XML, you could do it.
Yes, absolutely. So this is what we're going to do. And if you do that, you can quickly do it for all the, amplifiers under... why is that already set? Maybe I was too fast here. Properties. Let's also put node 1 here. Voila.
Yeah.
And so on.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have to change your XML file, right? How are you going to do that?
Back to the docs.
Back to the docs. Element property.
Okay.
Right? So you're going to have this piece of code, and you're going to have to add it in your XML. Yep. So you remove the thing we had before. This was for alarm properties.
You add the thing for the element property.
And you're going to configure it correctly. So the threshold is... You want 75% of amplifiers to be in alarm before you do anything.
Probably 0.75.
Yeah, or not.
Or not. Am I ruining the...
No.
But what am I doing?
Okay. Perfect. In case you're on a DAS system, right? Important. You cannot access the XML file, right? That's why you should check out this script number 3. If you check out the script and you scroll down a bit, you will have a few lines here that mention Kata exercise.
Yes.
This is where you should add the code, so the snippet from here.
Okay.
This is where you should add it in the code.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you add the correct code here in the automation script and you hit execute,
it should also...
It will update the file and you should see everything working.
Okay.
So what you do, once you did this, you send us a screenshot.
Yep.
Right? You send us a screenshot of some alarms here and what your element groups looks like.
Okay.
That's the proof we need. The points are coming your way.
And then you've got some DevOps points. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. And that's basically all I wanted to say, except that maybe it's good practice to clean up your system. So run script 4.
That one resets everything.
Resets everything as if nothing ever happened.
Perfect. So we've got a setup, we've got a breakdown or a fix, and we've got an exercise to complete. So amazing. Quick question still, if I could.
Of course you can.
So people might be wondering, because you've mentioned a few times, the XML file is not available on a DOS setup, or you cannot access it. Are there any plans somewhere to somehow make that accessible, like in the UI or something?
Yeah,
or
that's a great question.
Or should I refocus to your product owner?
No. But actually, okay, the short answer, I don't know.
Yes. Okay, that's a valid answer.
Yeah, it's so we're working on the analytics side of things.
Yeah.
And then you have the cloud domain.
Yes.
And they are the guys that decide
okay, yeah.
Yeah, what's the priority?
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
So it's somewhere on the stack, but
it's on the stack. Yeah.
Well, hey, if everyone's super enthusiastic about this feature, then for sure let us know. Take some screenshots of the exercise. If we see that this gets used a lot and is a very common request, that's exactly how things work in software development. We'll improve and increase priorities on things, and we'll keep working on something amazing like this. Yeah, thank you very much, Dennis, for making time, for showing us.
Always nice to see you. Thank you.
Always fun to have you as a guest, showing us amazing things. For everyone watching from YouTube, don't forget you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you always get notified when there's a new video. And yeah, for everyone watching, I'll catch you on the next one. Good luck. See you.
Okay. Bye-bye.